I'm currently using the Hartsel Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartsel's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
The M700 Fury, an aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. With performance surpassing its predecessor, the M700 Fury has 20% shorter takeoff and landing distances, a 30% improved climb rate of over 2,000 feet per minute, and reaches a maximum cruise speed of over 300 knots. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
Why take the risk of guessing the height on takeoff and landing when SkyVoice Alert 500 gives you audible callouts from 1 foot to 500 feet up and down? SkyVoice Alert 500 is the only FAA-approved takeoff and landing height announcer, and it also gives you reminders and warnings on gear, flaps, and more. Quick and easy install, Bluetooth or wired. Get yours today at holymicro.com and receive a $300 discount at Sun & Fun, booth D54.
And good morning, Sun and Fun. Well, you keep coming back. We're still here. It sounds like it's a good time for flying, and so that's what we're going to do today as well. For those of you who worked their way through yesterday, yeah, we had a little bit of rain and pain, but I'll tell you what, it is bright blue sky. It's a gorgeous day. We're heading into a phenomenal air show weekend, and if you're anywhere else but Lakeland, shame on you. What were you thinking? I mean, seriously. First of all, for today's event, let's thank our sponsor of the day, the Waco Aircraft Junkers Group, who unveiled the A50 Heritage this week. The A50 Junior that they showed up last year with the Rotax was gorgeous, but this year they adorned it with a 7-cylinder Werner radial. And I got to tell you, it's got the classic look. It's taking you back to the 30s. I was telling Marshall over at Waco and Junkers that they're setting aviation back almost a century, and it's looking good. So we're really happy to have them here and happy to have their support. Very simply, after yesterday's rain and pain, we are looking at a mainly sunny sky, high near 80, yay. Winds northwest at 10 to 20, and at this stage of the game, we're getting about as much as we can ask for. Maybe a little less wind would be great, but for now, we got a bright blue sky, and it's going to be a heck of a day. Air shows to follow. For the Friday version of Morning Brief, we had to talk to the boss of bosses, Gene Conrad, and find out, one, how's it going so far, boss? And two, where do we go from here? Gene, welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning, Jim. Appreciate it. And it has been a great week for us. It's our 50th annual Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. It's been a great week. Obviously, we had a little rain and pain, as you stated earlier yesterday, but we got through that, and we have dialed up the perfect weather for the weekend. But, just to kick off the week, we had a great day Tuesday. We had over 300 more airplanes here on Tuesday this year than we did this time last year.
Wow.
So we're pretty excited about that. We had our opening night concert with Dylan Scott and Sarah Evans. We've had about 6,000 or 7,000 people out on the ramp Tuesday night, so that was a good time. And then Wednesday, another great day, and then we finished it up with the the Wednesday night air show and then the fireworks. If you were not here on Wednesday, I encourage you to be here Saturday. It was world-class stuff, and I know Masako pretty much enjoyed that as well. So, yeah, but it's been a great week, and lots of positive feedback this week, and lots of people in record numbers for us. Obviously Thursday was down for us, but it's been a phenomenal week.
Well, even then, and what was fun was yesterday we were running through the exhibit areas and people were utilizing the shelter, but also an opportunity to take a look at all the stuff that they hadn't had a chance to see so far. So the exhibitors were happy.
Oh yeah, the exhibitors are pretty happy. I will tell you, knock on wood, cross your fingers, the Wi-Fi, the internet access for everybody's been great and robust this week, so big improvement from last year. And you asked about what's the next, what's the future look like. I will tell you, for the 49th Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo last year, we made a lot of changes in preparation for the 50th, and here we are. And the changes have worked, lots of great feedback, but what does it look like moving forward? Well, this year is the catalyst for where we're going. Next year, for our 51st Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, April 1st through 6th, 2025, this year's the launching pad, and, we're getting ready to plan for the future as well. We're doing a master site plan for our year-round campus and also for the fly-in, because there is significant growth happening here at the airport, but we're getting ready to plan for our next 50 years and for the fly-in and all of our year-round educational programming. So it's an exciting time, lots of work, underway, but we're already looking forward to our 51st.
April 1st through 6th. Boy, that's going to really mess up our April Fool's edition.
Yes, I know. So be kind on that day. I actually thought about that the other day, but actually this year people are giving me some grief on April Fool's Day about certain things, and I didn't necessarily appreciate it as we're moving into, got to look at airplanes here, as we're moving into our event here that started on the 9th. But again, it's been a great week. The weekend's going to be absolutely phenomenally beautiful, and we're excited.
Well, one of the things that we'd like to emphasize more, and I know you would as well, is that there's more to Sun and Fun than a really great week out of the year. You're involved in extraordinary educational activities. You've got a museum, and this is how you support those events.
Absolutely. Well, a great segue. So, our net proceeds from this event go back into our year-round educational programming. And when you think about the elements that we have here on our campus with the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, our high school, with the Skylab Innovation Center, where this year we're bringing 4,000 fifth graders from around Polk County. We're busing them all in to go through our Skylab Innovation Center, STEM-based labs, and purpose-built field trips for them. We have our AMP program with Travis Career College, the Lakeland Aero Club, Elevate. It's a world-class facility, and we're inspiring, and our mission is to engage, educate, and accelerate the next generation of aerospace professionals, and we're doing that bigger and better than anybody in the world.
4,000 fifth graders? You poor guy.
Yes, well, I have a phenomenal team, so I've got 14 people on my education team, and every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you can see anywhere from 50 to 60 kids here. Also, even for the really young ones, for our 2 to 5 year olds, in the Florida Air Museum, each Tuesday morning at 10 a.m., we have story time, and we have about 80 to 85 people, moms and dads and grandparents bringing their kiddos in, and to have an aviation story and have a good time. And also last year at our bash, our fundraiser during the fly-in, we raised about $200,000. And we're building a playground attached to the museum as well. So when these kids come in on those Tuesdays, they can go over to the playground after story time and have a good time and stick around with us. And now, when we started this program 2 years ago, some of those kids already are now going into our summer camps for the youngest, and that's just part of it. Get these kids as early as possible and get them into our programs, and we'll see where they end up.
The next generation.
It's all about the next generation. And when you think about, sustainability, and when I ran the airport here, when we talked about sustainability, even when I ran the airport, it's about what are we doing for the next generation. And, we are doing those things here. And for events like this or AirVenture or other fly-ins and air shows or whatnot, we need to collectively be doing our efforts, and everybody's working hard to do that. But we got to get that next generation inspired so I can be sitting here with you in 50 years from now, hopefully.
Well, that's just a terrifying thought. Yeah. Me, 50, never mind. Yeah, let's please not go there. Yeah. What do you think is the highlight of this week? What typifies this particular event this year, 50th anniversary?
I think, the big thing this year is just the excitement that's been generated in partnership with, you, Jim, and your team and Aero-News Network and my marketing team and everybody. We've really put a push out there, to get people excited about being here at this event. And, Paul Poberezny always said, the planes bring us together, but it's the people that keep us coming back. And, we're all here to come, we have a record number of exhibitors here this year, by the way, 563, not that I'm counting, but exactly 563 exhibitors here this year. Again, a record for us. But people are coming here to conduct business and have a good time. But at the end of the day, when the sun goes down, it's about our friends and our family and being around like-minded aviation people. And it's a great time. And we're gonna have a great 3 days and then get ready for 51 right after.
If you were to send a message out to folks out there who aren't here yet, how do you draw them in? What is it that Friday, Saturday, Sunday brings to the mix here that they really can't miss?
we have something for everyone, right? And so we have a new area this year as well called Future in Flight Plaza. So when you come in our main gate, the career fair is there, which is 6 days this year, has been absolutely packed. Even yesterday during the rain, we have Junior Aces, which is our youth program for our kids 7 to 17. When they come in here, we have 3 different areas for them to visit, and once they do that, they receive a toolkit donated by Dayton Freight. We also have the Innovation Showcase in Future in Flight Plaza this year, so our G-Whiz Jetson type stuff are in the Innovation Showcase. The Flight Sim experience in Future in Flight Plaza, so we have 12 companies in there with all the coolest flight simulation that you would ever want to see, and you get to put your hands on it and sit in it and have a good time. And then also, something was really cool and I didn't expect this year, but again, in Future in Flight Plaza, we have the Family Oasis. So for the young families, a place, a respite for them to go in, and then we offer daycare in the evenings. And last night, the tent was a little damaged because of the storm, but we had 17 kids that we had to move over here to this building for daycare last night. Who would have thunk having daycare at a fly-in? So here we are, and I'm sure that'll be back next year as well. But again, there's something for kids of all ages. And hey, another big cool area this year, Bush Wheel Base Camp. I don't know if you've been out there to visit it, but all the big fat tire folks, we had, I think there's about 30 airplanes out there brand new this year, and there was such a response. I'm sure we'll be expanding that area this year, but again, something for everyone. And tonight too, over in Paradise City, Sunset Aerial Circus at 7 o'clock, Stoll Invitational, Paramotors, some flybys, just good times. And, it's going to be a great weekend.
We're definitely sending the crews out to shoot that tonight. I'm looking forward to it, especially with the kind of sky we're likely to have. Gene, one thing I wanted to comment was there's an incredible spirit here among the volunteers. I've been to a couple of the organizational meetings in the past couple of months. You start out with a pledge of allegiance. You start out with a prayer. It's middle America. It's classic America in the process of trying to preserve a part of aviation for the future so that the kids who look at the sky today have a place to go tomorrow. And I'm incredibly impressed with the volunteer cadre here.
Well, we are absolutely nothing without our volunteers. Over the last 50 years, we have 20,000 people recorded that have volunteered here for this organization. Over 2,900 this week that help us, but there's no way we could do this without them. They are the heart and soul of what we do. We have people that show up 6 months prior to the event, helping us, building flower boxes, building benches, woodworkers, welders, our flower babes that go around and beautify the site for us. I mean, it's just we're very, very fortunate, to have our volunteers and for their love and passion and dedication for Sun and Fun and what we do. And, they're believers, and our pioneers too that started this event. We didn't have our first paid employee here until 10 years into Sun and Fun. And now there's 40. Now we've grown and we're quite large and we're doing a lot of programming, but again, we're nothing without them. And, we really put our best foot forward to celebrate them this year. If you saw our event poster this year, you can see Billy Henderson in there and Paul Poberezny. Paul Poberezny is a big part of this event, in the early days and, before he passed. Freddie Quinn, he's standing in front of the Coast Guard C-130 with the paddles, just lots of special people. We had our pioneer lunch yesterday as well at noon, and we gave away, I want to believe, 10 50-year pins, to those pioneers that have been here with us since the beginning, and we always think about the people that have already, flown west, and, because they're special to us and we would not be what we are today without them. So, big shout out to, all of our volunteers, and we appreciate you all, and we couldn't do it without you.
Well, I'll tell you what, the celebration of a 50th anniversary in any way is a momentous occasion. But when you utilize that to prepare yourself for the future and with your eyes squarely on what's to come, that's smart planning.
Absolutely. And again, there's lots to do. So we're already thinking about the 51st too. So is
there a theme yet for it?
We actually, Melissa Goodson, my marketing director, and we were actually talking about that yesterday. So I'm not going to give anything away, but she's a creative genius, and she does our event poster each year. And she driving in yesterday to work, she had her aha moment, and she's already drawn it out, and so we're already getting ready for the 51st.
So we got to go bug Melissa and try to get the insides skinny on the whole thing?
Yes, well, we haven't flushed everything out, so there's a lot of work to do, but she's a genius, and she does great work for us, but we're getting ready for next year already.
That she does. Gene, as a partner to Sun and Fun in this event, we so enjoy working with you. There's a couple of associations and groups that we work with that are just a complete delight. Yours is right at the top of the list. We can't thank you enough for the way we've been able to interface with you, and more important, the fact that we are continuing to do so and look forward to doing so in the future, and we thank you so much for that.
No, and Jim, we appreciate, again, you and your team, the phenomenal work you do to help us get the word out, for all the great things that are happening here and all the great announcements. And our innovation preview Tuesday morning at 10:30 was
that rocked.
It was another hit, but Jim, you guys and the team, you put all that together for us, and it's all about setting the tone for the year, and we're really the first big event, and we had a great kickoff, and we're going to finish up these 3 days and celebrate after that.
There you go. Gene, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jim.
Yes, folks, this is Aviation Spring Break, and I'll tell you what, if you're not here, again, shame on you. Let's take a quick break. We have two amazing guests for you. Speaking of the theme of the 50th, we are celebrating John and Martha King's 50th anniversary of educating, inspiring, and more important than anything else, keeping aviation safe as only they could. So we'll be right back in just a few moments. Take it away, Nathan.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
I grew up in an aviation family. My dad flew airplanes and flew air shows actually, so ever since I was 3 years old, the only thing I've ever wanted to do was be an air show pilot. It's cliche, but I get to live my dream every single day. I'm currently using the Hartzell Talon, the new aerobatic propeller. It's increased the performance of the airplane. It's made the harmonics balance throughout the airplane so much better. By far the best aerobatic propeller that I've ever flown behind.
Why take the risk of guessing the height on takeoff and landing when SkyVoice Alert 500 gives you audible callouts from 1 foot to 500 feet up and down? SkyVoice Alert 500 is the only FAA-approved takeoff and landing height announcer, and it also gives you reminders and warnings on gear, flaps, and more. Quick and easy install, Bluetooth or wired. Get yours today at holymicro.com and receive a $300 discount at Sun and Fun, booth D54.
The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. With performance surpassing its predecessor, the M700 Fury has 20% shorter takeoff and landing distances, a 30% improved climb rate of over 2,000 feet per minute, and reaches a maximum cruise speed of over 300 knots. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
And we're back. Well, Sun and Fun, I'll tell you what, if you're still out there in the real world, you're making a mistake. Get your buns down to Lakeland. It's a beautiful blue sky. We're going to have a phenomenal air show today. Tomorrow, holy smokes, day air show, night air show. And by the way, we're going to be trying an interesting little experiment called Saturday Flight Live at noon tomorrow. About an hour before the air show, our folks are going to be doing some interviews. We're talking to a lot of neat people from the Sun and Fun program. And then we go right into the air show. We'll be shooting that live and be working with their narration, my narration, some of the experts from the industry, and we'll see what happens. It's a little experimental, but then again, a lot of experimental airplanes here. We figure we're going to fit right in. I couldn't be more pleased to be able to present right now two people who have pushed this industry in so many great directions, educating, inspiring, and more important than anything else, just pushing safety at every turn. John and Martha King, 50 years. Where has the time gone?
We're still trying to figure that out, Jim. We went broke in our previous business, and we went, wow, that hurt. Let's not do that anymore. And we spent a lot of time thinking about why did we go broke? And one of the reasons we went broke is that we didn't have a passion for that business. So when times got tough, we weren't willing to pursue. Well, let's do something we have a passion for. So here we are, and we're not broke anymore, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to make it successful because we have that passion.
You know, it's interesting. When we started out, we were doing live weekend 2-day ground schools, and we weren't thinking about, oh, this will be a great business, what a great future we have. Basically, we were thinking, let's just get a job that we can own, that we have a passion about, where we can control our lives and design it the way we want to. And the way we designed it was to spend weekends talking to pilots and fly ourselves there in our own airplane. And we just, at that time, couldn't imagine any better lifestyle or life. And as I say, when we started, all we felt was, let's own a job, a good job that we're passionate about, and we'll do that until a serious business comes along. Well, we're still looking for a serious business.
What's the line we were using before? We don't want to get real jobs. Why start now?
Right, exactly.
Well, when we paired up together, we decided we were going to be equal partners in everything we would do. And I've been struggling to be Martha's equal partner ever since.
I have the same problem.
But to be equal partners, we figured we needed to be entrepreneurs. We needed to be in our own business because we didn't figure that some big company would hire John and Martha as a team. And so we wanted to be a team, and so here we are, 50 years in the same business, and it's still a team. And I want to make it clear right now, Martha's only a little bit better pilot than I am.
And your response to that?
Well, you know, it's interesting. People ask us from time to time, is so-and-so a good pilot? And our response always is, what kind of pilot are you talking about? Are you talking about a good airline pilot, a good Alaska bush pilot, a good recreational backcountry pilot? As you know, because you fly so many different things, there's different skill sets in every one of them, and very few people have all the skill sets for all of those different types of operations. So John is fabulous at physical control of the airplane, putting it exactly where he wants it to be. I think I perhaps am a little bit better at anticipating where we want it to be.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen next. And I'm going, what the hell just happened?
But, you know, people ask us sometimes, well, when you got started, what was your 5-year plan? What was your 10-year plan? We didn't have anything like that. we were teaching these live 2-day ground schools. We taught them for 10 years before we got to video, and we got to video almost accidentally because John's uncle went with us to a class and said that at the end of it, you know, you ought to put this program on video.
And I said to him, that just goes to show you don't know one darn thing about our business. It won't work on video. And he says, well, I don't know how you can say that if you haven't tried it. And so we tried it, and son of a gun, to our surprise, it worked on video. And one of the reasons it worked is we had been teaching weekend ground schools 50 weekends a year for 10 years. We had given the same classes 500 times. Martha was teaching in one classroom, teaching instrument instructors, and I was in the other classroom teaching private, commercial, and flight instructors. And we had got those talks down. We knew how to get into a subject so we didn't confuse people, hopefully, and we knew how to get interest by enhancing a subject with jokes that were appropriate, that advanced the concept. And so by the time we got around to doing the video, we had done it 500 times. We had our lines down, and they worked.
Have you ever even tried to put together a rough number of the pilots that you've created?
Well, the people at King Schools claim it's over 2 million people, and they say that they've counted it up and they've figured it. So a couple million could be the correct answer.
So we get to blame you for a lot.
A lot of trouble, particularly Martha. She's a troublemaker.
Yeah. We've noticed this.
It was an interesting. We were doing the video courses and had been for a while when Cessna restarted this single engine line of the piston aircraft, and we looked at that as the talk about the restart happened, and they broke ground on the new factory in Independence, Kansas, and we looked at each other and said, you know, that's huge in general aviation, and that's something we really want to be a part of. And so we went to basically every talk that Russ Meyer was giving. We went to Oshkosh and listened to him. We would listen to him when they did the groundbreaking for the plant in Independence. And from that, we developed what we thought they were going to want, developed in our minds an image of what we thought they would want for a curriculum. And when the opportunity came to compete for the contract, we went for it because it was the biggest thing going on in aviation, and we really wanted to be a part of it. So that competition is how we became the providers of the curriculum for the Cessna Pilot Centers. And one of the things that we wanted, Cessna had wanted, was for it to be a computerized program. We still wanted to have the video, but we wanted to make it full screen video. And our technical people were saying, you know, this was in '97, and it wasn't real easy to get full screen video on a laptop. And we were walking by a store in San Diego, an electronics store, and John looked in the window and said, that laptop is playing full screen video. And we went in and bought it and took it.
Interrupted by an F-16.
You know, if you're interested in airplanes, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
Boy, we're in heaven right now.
Right.
Amen.
So we bought that laptop and we took it to our IT folks and we said, reverse engineer this and figure out how they're getting full screen video. And that's how we got the full screen video that went into the Cessna curriculum for the Cessna Pilot
It's
Centers.
kind of counterintuitive. We're a mom and pop operation almost by definition. It's John and Martha. And we won the contract from a huge company. And it's just interesting that Cessna picked John and Martha to do their new generation of Cessna Pilot Centers. And we've been happy with Cessna, and we hope Cessna's been happy with us.
But part of the reason that we think they did is that Cessna did pick us is because, as I said, we were listening to Cessna. We heard what they said they wanted, and when we came to the actual competition, we didn't just talk about what we could do and provide for them. We actually brought a small sample of what could be done on the computer with the interactivity of the video and the questions and the learning. And we'd focused enough on what they wanted that we hit the sweet spot for them. But it's been a wonderful relationship ever since 1997, and we expect it to stay that way. Hope that it stays that way going for a long time into the future.
Speaking of the future, what's it look like?
I think it looks like a lot of growth. This is our, as you said earlier, this is the 50th anniversary of the starting of King Schools. We started in 1974, and we're adding new programs and new possibilities all the time. We have just, for instance, begun a complete program for aircraft maintenance technicians with a full curriculum under the FAA's new Part 147 regulations that allows for remote operations, satellite operations of a maintenance school, training school, and also allows for online training rather than seat time in a classroom. And we produced a syllabus that lets people get through their aviation maintenance training and get certificated either one-on-one with on-the-job training or with a flight school, a university. Anyone who already has a fleet of airplanes that they're using for flight training use their own maintenance facilities to train to train technicians and produce mechanics for themselves and for the community.
The FAA's new Part 147 allows something that they should have allowed all along, is that they can now study anywhere they want. It used to require that they had to show up in a classroom to study, and it was very confining to people. And now the FAA Part 147 allows people to study the A&P from anywhere they want, as long as they can perform, as long as they can pass the tests and demonstrate that they have the knowledge. And lo and behold, King Schools has a complete program that allows people to study on the internet. And so you can study, and then you can go on the internet at home in your own living room or dining room, and then you can go to a flight school, and they can use their airplanes that they use to train pilots during the daytime. At nighttime, they can train mechanics in them, and they have a mechanic. They'll have an A&P mechanic there, and they can use that curriculum and sign these people off. And so the FAA has allowed flexibility, and we're going to take advantage of that flexibility and help create mechanics. One of the great shortages that we have is a shortage of mechanics, and it's
a real shortage.
Worse than a shortage of pilots, actually. And we think we have a shortage of pilots, but we have a shortage of mechanics, and it's King School's job to try and figure out how we can help people become mechanics.
And we're demoing down at our booth in Hangar D here at Sun and Fun. We're demoing that A&P curriculum, and the head of our business development, Brian Huff, is there to help explain it to people and talk to them about how they can integrate it either into a college, high school, university, or flight school existing programs.
So a flight school that has a fleet of airplanes can now expand their business by taking advantage of those airplanes for training mechanics. And so I think it's going to work out well, and I think you'll see a change in how the aviation community changes, how the aviation community trains mechanics. I can get this out. It's hard to say mechanics when you've been saying pilots for years.
I understand completely. I can't thank you both enough for spending some time with us. I grew up with you guys.
Well, I'm so sorry.
And yeah, seriously, I still somewhere have some of the old videotapes from the early days and so forth, and I keep those around because it's a real interesting indicator of what we were utilizing at the time, and it's fun every now and then when I can find a a VCR to go back and look at some of that.
Jim, I'm shocked to hear that you grew up.
Well, I didn't say that. I grew up with you. I didn't say the job was done. You know, I may be getting older, but I refuse to grow up. But I can't thank the two of you enough for the contribution you made to this industry, and more important, the contribution you continue to make.
Well,
thank you both.
You, Jim.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to be with you. You are a strong force in the aviation community. Thank you very much.
Well, let's put better than most people would, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jim.
Alrighty, folks, tell you what, let's talk air shows, because Sun and Fun is nothing if not just a massive air show. Today's schedule includes Patriot Parachute Demo Team, skydivers, and I gotta tell you, I'm jealous. I'd love to be getting out and getting a little airtime with them right now. The United States Navy F-18 Super Hornet Demo Team, yay Hornets. United States Navy Legacy Flight, which will include the F-18, and we're not quite sure who else is flying with them. Rob Holland is flying the MXS. Jim Peets is flying the F-33C Bonanza. Kevin Coleman in the extra 330 Sierra Charlie. Tora, various warbirds making noise, and show them what history looked like. Commemorative Air Force, B-29s, B-24s, P-51s, and more. Oh my! Class of 45 is a P-51 in Corsair flight. The United States Air Force F-35A demo team with the F-35A. There will be another U.S. Air Force heritage flight involving the F-35 and airplanes to be named later. Mikey Gullion, yay Mikey, in the extra 330 Sierra Charlie. And then finally, a little team that, you know, has come out of nowhere. They're starting to make some notice. It's called the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds. They've got 6 F-16s, which is 6 more than I have. I miss the old days. The F-16, the electric jet, was just about as much fun as any boy could possibly have, or girl for that matter. And I got to tell you, when the Thunderbirds are out, everybody stops, everybody watches. Above and beyond that, we've got some neat events throughout the day. A couple of suggestions we have is Rob Holland for a meet and greet at 1000 Eastern Time in the aerobatic headquarters. Another cool meet and greet with the Stoll Invitational pilots at noon, the Bush Plains / Stoll parking area. And let me get to the next page. Oh, I hate it when this happens. Paper failure. And finally, Gene mentioned it, I'll mention it, we will be there. Sunset Aerial Circus. It's a smaller version of the air show with the light sport and light plane group over in the Light Plane Paradise City area. 1900 ET, yes, that's 7 o'clock for you, non-aviation people. It's great fun. It's very friendly. It's very family-oriented. You got to stop by and watch it. Friday night show's a good one. So that's it. I'll tell you what, we've had a ball doing morning brief. There will be no morning brief tomorrow because we'll be preparing for Saturday Flight Live. And as we told you, highly experimental. We're still putting together some of the details. And we're looking forward very much to a nice interview session for an hour before the air show and then the air show itself. We look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Airborne this afternoon, Holland Lee is here, even after having won half of Lakeland in a Lakeland-opoly game last night that I understand bankrupted my wife. And we'll have a little talk about that later. But by and large, we're having a ball. Everybody's doing fine. It's a blue sky, and even after the rain yesterday, everybody is out here ready to aviate. And so are we. And we thank you so much. We will see you at Airborne this afternoon, Saturday Flight Live tomorrow, and Airborne and the rest throughout the weeks to come. This is Jim Campbell with the Aero-News Network on behalf of Aero-News, Airborne, the Innovation Preview, Sport Plane Resource Guide, the upcoming Aviation Alliance, of course the Affordable Flying Expo, January 9th to the 11th here in Lakeland next year, and so much more. We got lots for you. Stay in touch. We will too. Take care. All the best.
The Aero-News Network Sun and Fun Digital Daily Morning Brief, live from Lakeland, Florida, is brought to you in part by the following sponsors.
M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. With performance surpassing its predecessor, the M700 Fury has 20% shorter takeoff and landing distances, a 30% improved climb rate of over 2,000 feet per minute, and reaches a maximum cruise speed of over 300 knots. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
Why take the risk of guessing the height on takeoff and landing when SkyVoice Alert 500 gives you audible callouts from 1 foot to 500 feet up and down? SkyVoice Alert 500 is the only FAA-approved takeoff and landing height announcer, and it also gives you reminders and warnings on gear, flaps, and more. Quick and easy install, Bluetooth or wired. Get yours today at holymicro.com and receive a $300 discount at Sun & Fun, booth D54.